I accidentally let a drunk girl sleep on my chest, and now I can't stop thinking about her. I was isolated in a corner at the gathering. The music was booming loudly enough to obliterate my thoughts. People were drinking. I wasn't. Everyone was puffing on weed. I wasn't. I had simply chosen to stay sober that night. After all, I was there against my wishes. My pals practically pulled me here, and I hadn't interacted with them in the last couple of hours. Then a random dude I didn't know leaned his elbow onto my shoulder. He was utterly trashed. He pointed across the space at a girl and slurred, "Yo, dude, that chick is totally checking you out, man. Lucky you," before nearly hurling and wobbling away. The girl noticed him pointing at her. She blushed, but continued to hold my gaze. We maintained eye contact for a few seconds before I finally looked away first. I wasn't going to indulge in this. It was just aimless flirting. All right, one last glance. The moment I looked back in her direction, I noticed her approaching me. Oh no, this was bad. I wasn't prepared for awkward small talk with a girl I'd never met, especially one as stunning as her. She walked right up to me, grabbed my hand without a word, and pulled me along with her. And for some unknown reason, I went along. I had no idea where she was taking me. I didn't understand what was happening. This wasn't typical for me. For as long as I could recall, I'd turned down every girl who ever hinted at interest. I wasn't into relationships, and I undoubtedly disliked where they often led. But now this girl was pulling me upstairs while I followed her obediently. She led me into a room, shoved me inside, stepped in after me, and then shut the door. She looked at me and asked, "Are you prepared?" My mind instantly short-circuited. Prepared for what? Sex? I am so not prepared. I've never been prepared. Prepared for what? I asked with caution. She started taking off her clothes while mumbling that there wasn't much time since she'd promised her dad to be home by 2 a.m., and it was already 1:15. She was very intoxicated. She lifted her shirt and told me to take mine off too. I found myself staring at her body a second longer than is appropriate, and that scared me. I'd never looked at a girl and genuinely thought she was attractive before. Not in my entire life. The only time I ever felt anything vaguely sexual was the occasional morning wood after waking. Even then, I never pictured anyone. But her body looked unreal, like someone crafted her from gold and moonlight with hands made of stars. Her waist was slender. Her thighs were thick enough to crush me. Her breasts were 3 times larger than my fist. And for the first time ever, I found myself appreciating every detail of a girl's body. What the heck was happening to me? She stepped closer. Then it struck me hard all at once. Hold on, she was intoxicated. I was sober. This wasn't right. Without thinking, I snatched the bottle from her hand and gulped from it. I downed the rest in one go and waited for it to take effect. But before it could, she pushed me onto the bed. She was surprisingly strong for someone that wasted. She climbed on top of me and kissed me. And somehow that made everything feel even worse because I still wasn't intoxicated enough for my conscience to quiet down. Then she whispered against my lips, "We're going to have an amazing night. I'm in charge." She leaned in for another kiss and completely missed my mouth. A moment later, her head fell onto my chest right below my chin. Then I heard gentle snoring. I stared at the ceiling in silence. Did she seriously just fall asleep on top of me? What a total bummer. She shifted in her sleep, placed one hand on my chest and softly mumbled, "Num, num, num." I hated how adorable I thought that was. Minutes went by. Then, without even realizing it, I wrapped my arms around her while she slept on me. What on earth am I doing? This wasn't me. None of this was like me. I couldn't comprehend what I was feeling. Part of me wanted her to stay asleep forever, just so the moment wouldn't end. Another part urgently wanted her to wake up. I'd never felt this out of control before, and honestly, I hated it. The next thing I knew, sunlight was shining on my face. I opened my eyes slowly and sat upright, perplexed. Where the heck am I? Then it all came rushing back. There had been a total angel sleeping on my chest last night. I immediately got up and stepped out of the room. And there she was. The instant our eyes connected, she panicked. She looked away almost immediately and hurried out of sight. I stood there frozen. Why did she bolt? Then the realization hit me swiftly, of course. A girl like her would never genuinely want me. She'd just been intoxicated. Now that she was sober, she probably felt disgusted or humiliated. But even after convincing myself that, the sensation in my chest didn't vanish. Because whatever took place last night, something inside me had shifted.